I scroll Facebook almost every day and I see people looking for places that are affordable, and it's like, you're not going to find that in Spokane. You can't even find that over in Idaho.
It is getting harder and harder to find an affordable place to live in Spokane, and the city is the second in the nation for the largest rent increase.
Now get this, since March of 2020, rent prices in Spokane have increased by 32%. In July, the median rent for a one-bedroom was $977 and a two-bedroom was $1,343.
With area rent prices on the rise, it's causing some big problems for tenants trying to renew their lease.
That's right. I spoke with a woman in Spokane Valley who says that she's been trying to sign a new lease for weeks and is afraid that if her apartment complex doesn't get back to her, she'll be forced to spend hundreds of dollars by paying a month-to-month rent fee. Sarah Pengilly and her family have been living at the Bella Tess apartments in Spokane Valley for over a year, but at the beginning of August, she received a letter saying that it was time to renew her lease at a much higher rate.
If we were to renew between the 1st to the 15th of August, it was 19 something, I don't remember off the top of my head. And then if it was after that, it was just going up. And then if we would have stayed month to month, it would have gone up over $1,000 extra a month.
Sarah says their rent was around $1,600 a month when she initially signed her lease. But when that lease was up back in March, the complex offered them a month-to-month option, which has them paying almost $2,000 a month.
We're still month to month, even though I sent an email and I've tried getting a hold of the management and got the runaround for the last couple of months or a couple of weeks.
Sarah says she's tried to re-sign a lease to save her family some money and stress. But after weeks of trying, she still hasn't received any response from the management company.
We're still waiting, and the prices are supposed to start October 1st.
Terry Anderson is the Spokane director for the Tenants Union of Washington State. She says their office has heard from many tenants who have similar complaints.
My concern is that the reason that's being done is that there was a new law that was passed just in this last session that gives tenants on a month-to-month rental contract just cause protections, and that means they cannot be evicted without a just cause. So when the state enacted just cause, landlords were able to get an amendment that allows fixed-term tenants to be terminated without cause at the end of a fixed-term lease. This sounds to me like the tenants are being coerced or pressured into signing a fixed-term lease, so that gives the landlord the option of ending it without cause. If the tenant were to choose the month-to-month, then they would be protected under this new law. Obviously, that's not a good choice to have if you have to pay that kind of rent.
It's a tough situation to be in, but Terry says renters still have some options, like calling your local and state politicians, reaching out for legal representation through CLEAR, and even forming a union at your complex.
We are holding tenant meetings and organizing tenants who want to get involved now before the state legislature.
If you're concerned about making your upcoming rent payment, Terry says now is the time to apply for rental assistance.
Even if they aren't taking applications, you need to get your rental assistance application in or notify the website. If you have to take a screenshot of it or have someone take a photograph of you clicking the button, whatever it takes, or if you have to fill out a paper application and mail it, have somebody take a picture of you mailing it, because under the bridge order, as long as you have applied for a rental assistance, then you cannot be evicted through the end of September.
So we tried to reach out to the property owner of Bella Tess Apartments. However, the management company, Greystar, declined to give an interview, but they did send us this statement. It says Greystar doesn't own any apartment communities here in Spokane, Washington. We do, however, manage apartment communities on behalf of property owners. And as management agent, we may make recommendations, but property owners ultimately decide rents based on market conditions, their cost of ownership, and other factors. And we also received this statement from the Washington Multifamily Housing Association, and they say, quote, 90% of rent goes toward the operating costs of rental housing. Housing providers are experiencing high costs for wages and benefits, inflation, and over 16 months providing housing without compensation. Housing providers in Spokane and across the state are now forced to cover these costs. We must focus on meeting the immediate needs of residents impacted by COVID-19 by assessing robust rental assistance funds and work collaboratively to create abundant housing options across the Spokane area. So yeah, lots to unfold there, but one of the main things that I took from this is, especially from the tenants union perspective, if you're having a problem with your rent, go online, apply for rental assistance, even if they're not taking applications right now. Screenshot that you've done this, and then you're not supposed to be allowed to be evicted until at least October 1st, so at least buys you a month of time.
Right, but that October 1st deadline is going to approach soon, so you need to get on it. But yeah, it's a very stressful situation, and you were talking about that woman. She has a dual income.
Yes, she and her husband both work and can't afford rent, and that says a lot about that.
About the current situation.